Hi, I'm Stuart from the Norfolk Honey Company and welcome to another Beekeeping Basics. I've returned today to one of the apiaries where we placed the pollen substitute on the hives. We put it on quite early and since then the weather has become really mild, and today the temperature is around 15 or 16 degrees. It's really sunny and the bees are out foraging and bringing back loads of pollen. So I thought we'd take a look at these beehives and see how they're doing with the pollen substitute. I've a feeling that perhaps it was a waste of time and none of them will have taken any of the pollen substitute. Because the conditions have been so mild, the bees have been able to go out on cleansing flights, and also I've seen them bringing back pollen for some time now, so I'm just wondering whether they will have touched the pollen substitute at all. But let's take the camera over to one or two of the hives and open them up and see how well they're doing. So here you can see just how much pollen these bees are bringing in. So I think it's highly unlikely that they would choose the pollen substitute in favour of natural pollen. But let's take the roof off and have a look inside. If you've not yet subscribed, please do consider subscribing. We've got a lot of videos to share with you, and I'm hoping that as the season starts we can share a lot more with you. So this is the pollen substitute underneath the crown board that you can see here. And there's one or two bees moving around. We'll just give them a light smoking. And pretty much as I suspected, they've taken, well, none of the pollen substitute at all. And I think that's as a result of the very mild weather we've been having. I'm just going to check to see if we've got stores for them. And you can see the bees have got some stores here. I'm not going to disturb them too much. So I'm just going to go in and get to the edge of the brood nest and we'll just see how the bees are doing. But we've got bees across all of the frames here. They're not too happy about me going into them at the moment, so we'll just be as quick as we can. So they've got plenty of food here and they're packing away lots of pollen, so that's good news. But it's still really too early to be doing what I would call proper inspections. I would, for anyone out there that's just beginning, I would definitely leave inspections for a good while as yet. And we've got the queen on this frame. I might be able to point her out to you. She's running just here. And we're into brood and there's eggs. So So that's all good news. So I'm not going to disturb these any further. I'm just going to close them up. Just move the bees away from the top bars so that I can put the pollen substitute back on. And we get the prime board back on top of that, and we can leave those bees now to continue doing their own thing. So again, another colony that has the pollen substitute, but just hasn't touched it at all. I'm not going to open them all up. It's still a little bit on the cool side. It's really warm, but there's a fairly chilly breeze, and it looks like all of the colonies are getting more than enough pollen from the stored pollen from late last season, and also because it's so mild, they're out foraging and bringing back pollen now. So we'll have a look at a couple more and see if any of them have taken them, but I suspect that they're all going to be the same. Again, not touched at all. So that's really interesting. We've got 8 colonies at this site, and not one of them has touched any of the pollen substitute, and the weather is just incredibly mild. They're bringing in loads of pollen, and why would they go for a substitute when they can get their own fresh pollen from the local plants that we have in abundance around this site? So it just goes to show that you don't actually need to feed pollen substitute unless perhaps you know that you're going to be in short supply early in the spring. But here at this site, the bees have got lots of forage, and if the weather stays mild for the next few weeks, then I can see that these bees are going to expand at a fair rapid pace. So just a quick update. I hope you find that interesting. We'll catch up next week. If you haven't yet subscribed, please do think about subscribing. We're getting ever closer to that beginning of the season, and we've got lots of videos to share with you. Please hit the like button and don't forget to share on social media, and we'll catch up next week. Thanks for watching.